Hello and welcome to DarkMouse's Daily Scroll with me, DarkMouse.
Me, Thef.
Me, Hanaconda.
And me, Cassius.
Indeed, this is part 2 of tonight's Daily Scroll, purely because we didn't get one out yesterday, so we apologise for that, and we have a second episode for you.
Assuming, of course, on editing and everything, this might be up just after the midnight mark, but...
It'll be fine.
Close enough.
Now, this one is me playing again. That's enough of the guests for today, I think. Just for a little while. And I'm going to play with the Decay deck that Cassius was playing with in the earlier episode. To see if
However,
I can do any better. Which,
probably.
I don't know.
I would hope. I would hope.
This is the point where I realised I didn't take Pestis out of the goddamn deck.
It'll still be useful.
It's good for a card that you can sack. It's brilliant for a card that you can sack. It's not so good if you want to play a card.
Yeah.
But you know what to do.
Yeah, but Decay is not one that I've really looked at all that much, and I don't have a lot of cards for it. It's not as well crafted as my energy one.
Okay.
Are you against growth?
I'm sure we'll get there. And win eventually.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, this guy's sacking for growth straight off, and then he's going for decay. So it looks like a growth decay mix. But at the moment he has a junkyard, so you would think he might have rats.
Maybe.
Does the junkyard only affect rats that you own?
I'd imagine so, yeah.
Fair enough.
I think it does, yeah. But yeah, with mangy rats and rats from the growth itself, you would think this guy would be doing a rat deck.
Yeah,
Maybe.
rat deck.
Well, a rat beast bunny deck. Unfortunately, though, he pulls out a Gravelock. Gravelocks are cool little creatures that require energy, growth, and decay, depending on what you want to do. Because one of the Gravelocks generally cost energy, but one of them you can spend growth to heal. What
are you
Why
doing?
is-
Your bunnies must be more severe.
I might throw the ice cream at you.
I wouldn't miss the ice cream, but
It's a blob.
maybe a glass.
Oh, he's got another my rot eater. That's
Rot eater.
I still think he looks like Experiment Crad.
I love
it was lovely, yeah.
how the microphone picks up the face palm. You know, you get that microphone spike, that glorious... It's very clear.
It just sounded like you split your skull open.
I think Cassius just concussed himself.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Would you
No.
stop? It's like the time when you did something bad, you fractured your hand or something, and you're playing Magic. You get slamming the cards down with the bad hand. I'm partnered up for him for that game. And every 10 seconds it's going to... Cassius, what the hell were you doing?
Literally every time. BAM! Ow!
And that wasn't the worst I was doing to
I
it while
think-
it was injured.
I think we should probably call him Cassius the Permanently Concussed.
Cassius the Concussed.
It's better than Ethelred the Unready, after all.
I've heard worse.
Don't you get like a slightly thicker skull if you hit your head a lot more?
Yes, but
feel that.
But because the skull
Okay.
gets thicker, the brain gets smaller.
Hey!
Guys, I don't want to worry you, but my coat tastes of cyanide.
Did you put almonds
He
in
knows
it?
we spiked it.
You put amaretto in it, didn't
Crap.
you?
No, I didn't.
away.
I haven't drunk any amaretto today.
Oh, are you sure you got the right glass?
Yes, you have.
Or in the Blue Heaven,
Yeah.
yes, but, you know,
Oh.
yes, we are manly men, we drink cocktails.
Yeah, why not? Cocktails are nice. No point forcing you to drink lager that tastes like
You have-
actual piss.
Not, you know, not fake piss, but actual piss.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got a blob out, but they've got
There are
more.
some, yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the back foot in this particular game. Of course, that guy just died. I think I might
Why
managed to
did
get
that guy just die?
I think I managed to get searing shackles on him, and I poisoned him beforehand.
Okay.
Nice.
But you have actually built up the other one in doing so.
God, you could do
Yes,
horrible
but that one could die
things.
too.
Just thinking, if you put Ember Bonds and Searing Shackles on something at once, that would be horrifying.
Before it attacks, take 2 damage. If it's going to move, it takes 2 damage. So if it moves and then attacks, it's taking 4 damage. Not much can stand up to that.
Put them on a copper automaton, it matters not.
Actually, it does, because the copper automaton would die before it exploded.
Fair enough.
Unless you manage to boost its defense and stuff. In all fairness, you can make a copper automaton really nasty.
I was sad. That happened
Yeah.
to me when I was playing with your deck.
Yeah,
Like, I bought a copper automaton, but it like died before it did anything.
that can happen. But it is only a 1 resource card, But if you can get a load of structures out, fill your side of structures and have one copper automaton, if it survives, you put metal hearts on it and all of a sudden it does like 12 damage.
Wow.
Oh look,
Yes.
I told an idol with a 1 resource creature.
Just for the record, and not criticising yet, but something that Silver Cloud pointed out while she was here, be very careful to enunciate the word deck.
Deck.
Deck. Because if you say it wrong, playing with your deck, using a new deck,
We've been playing with decks for quite a while now.
yes, we have to be very, very careful how we say this, or else this goes from the realm of collectible card games to massive homoeroticism.
That might not
It
be
doesn't
a
have to
bad
be
thing.
homoeroticism, we can all be playing with our decks in our rooms.
It is, of course, a multiplayer game, so just...
Seth, if I played with your deck, it wouldn't be homoeroticism.
No, but you are somewhat in the minority when it comes to the gender of the people on the podcast.
This is very true. Oh dear. Right, with that out of the way.
It's alright, Cassius, just let it out.
I hope I haven't scared everyone away.
Oh god. Well, we broke that. And that particular card there, that puppet card that was played,
Yeah.
it's a structure with only 3 health. So you look at it and you think, brilliant. As an energy player, I have incendiaries. Play incendiaries. No! Don't do it. The second that structure dies, everything on that row dies too.
Oh,
Jeez.
that's a
Yeah.
little bit dirty.
Well, that's not so bad if you've only got cheap stuff. though.
But every time if I've used my energy deck against another decay deck and I've put the Solemn Giant down, he's usually been hemmed in because it's quite late game. They've put one of those down and they've killed it off or I've killed it off because of the ether pumps and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've lost the Solemn Giant and everything else in that row.
Jeez.
And there are only 3 resources.
That's quite the nasty play right
Because
there.
what you can do in an energy decay deck is play that down and then burn it.
Yeah. Ow.
Your opponent
Ow,
seems to
yeah.
have played a lot of things, but a lot of them are gone.
Yeah, regardless of what deck I play, I'm usually good at removing my opponent's stuff.
That's good.
But particularly with this decay, I love poisoning stuff. That life stealer is going to take so long to die because every time he attacks and does damage, he heals back to full health.
There's a rat.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, there is indeed. 1 rat so far. Out of what seems to be what started off as a growth deck, mainly decay. Which is interesting.
To be fair, if you gear it so you've only got 1 energy growth stuff, or 1 resource growth stuff in your deck, you sack 1 energy card at the start, growth card at the start,
Yeah.
and then you can always play what you've got in your hand.
True, but then having more than 1 growth resource in that case would also be far more beneficial because then you can go, right, I've got 3 growth cards, all 1 resource, and I've got 3 growth.
Depends what the frequency of draw is as well, I guess.
That's true, but then you can always get a really unlucky hand where you draw all your
Everything.
growth cards at once. I've had a hand where I've drawn all my 6 mana cards to begin with, and I've been like, oh crap.
But do they come back?
Oh yeah,
after a while?
Eventually. yeah.
once stuff's gone to your graveyard, once your library's been depleted and it's all in the graveyard gets shuffled again and it becomes your library.
Cool.
So that's quite cool, but it does take a while unless you have some specific way of cycling your deck through. For energy, we have clock libraries and burns, because burn lets us draw cards and we can sack more cards, and clock libraries, when their countdown hits 0, they will draw 3 cards for you, which is nice.
So, basically you can't mill in squirrels.
No, you can't.
No, there's no way to mill. Our thoughts on milling
Yay.
are fairly
Immoral.
unpleasant. It's not a particularly skillful way to win, and people might disagree with that.
You can.
It's the internet, people always disagree with that.
Yeah, true. Personally, we don't like it because it doesn't allow players to play with any skill.
There's no actual strategy involved. It's not a case of they use these colours, they can do this, that and the other. It's a case of I will just remove cards from your library, you won't get the chance to draw them, you won't get the chance to use them and fail, and they just go straight to your graveyard. Because the second you can't draw in Magic, you lose.
I will point out though, my green like magic deck like deals with milling quite well.
As
It
it's
does, yeah.
120 odd cards.
And also it benefits from having stuff in my graveyard.
Well, yes.
That's very true.
Well, yeah, it's also why milling is kind of pointless as a strategy, because the best way of going about defeating one is just have a really big deck.
Yeah.
Deck.
Massive deck. Put it on the table and scare them shitless.
There is a blue card, actually. It's brilliant. That when you play it, if you have more than 200 cards in your library, you win the game.
Yeah.
That way, you just plonk down a 500 card blue-black deck and fill it with Diabolic Revelations, and that's I think it's Battle of Wits.
Yeah.
When you get Diabolical Revelations, you pay the requisite mana cost plus 1. You go through, you find Battle of Wits, and you play that too. Then you win.
It would be really shit if you couldn't do that and what's called Battle of Wits was the 199
bottom.
star that you drew, you know.
It was on the
just
bottom.
below that threshold of 200.
That would suck.
I would. Well, I'm quite happy that there's no milling in Scrolls.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Scrolls has an infinitely elegant way of playing.
So it's like constantly random what you pull
Yeah.
out, but
It's very dynamic, fast-paced, constantly changing game. It's brilliant.
I like it because you have to be strategic to win. You can't just go, right, I massively spam stuff at the start and win that way. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. You have to play it with a degree of skill, you have to put thought into what you're doing.
Hats off to the guys who made Scrolls of Mojang, because there are very few balance issues that I can see between the resources. You can play a mono resource deck for any of the resources. I'm playing mono energy and I'm doing mono decay as well, and they work fine. I've had good games, I've had bad games, obviously everyone has, but there's no real problem being had with that. I can win at a good enough ratio, or at least give my opponent a run for the money at a good
Yeah.
ratio.
it's difficult playing against the same type though.
Yeah.
Say energy versus energy is a bit of a problem.
Oh.
12
growth.
turns in and you both just have structures. No creatures, just structures. Whose idols are damaged? No one's.
Growth versus growth as well.
Oh god, yeah. I have tons of creatures, me too! Screw.
The thing is, they've mitigated power creep quite well by doing this as well.
Yeah.
Because there's less chance for it to occur. So long as they keep bringing out new decks, there'll be more and more combinations of things you can play.
Not even that, I mean, the main problem with power creep in, like, hard copies of CCGs, like Magic and stuff, is that they're reprinting old cards that aren't in
Yeah.
circulation anymore. The only way Scrolls can do that is if they take out of circulation
Yeah,
digital cards.
and they won't do that, we hope.
Exactly, so power grip shouldn't be an issue in that regard, unless they reprint the Solemn Giant as 3 resource and he does 12 damage and he's got 6 defense and a countdown of 1.
Yeah, but they are better at balancing than that, I think.
They really are.
Let's hope.
I think they are. I mean, Decay has come out and it hasn't been. It's powerful, it's got a good set of combinations, and it's got a really good game ethic as well. Poisoning and cursing and all that stuff. But it's not overpowered in comparison to the other decks. I mean, I've played Energy against Decay, my Automate the Titan deck, and even against the Decay deck that's been getting in tons of Decay scrolls for it.
Yeah. It's new and shiny, but that doesn't make it horrendously OP.
Exactly, yes.
Because I know with the M14 stuff, we saw a lot of cards that were making a return from much older sets.
Yeah.
That in the current tournament scene, at least, are so stupidly powerful
Shivan,
compared to
yeah.
stuff.
Shivan Dragon's one of them.
Yeah.
Because that's a nice. In fact, you know that card
Yeah.
that I do.
Off the
Arcane
top of my head, 4/4 dragon with flying and haste.
5/5 flying dragon that
Clearly
you can
not.
spend 1 mountain to pump up by 2. Or is it 1?
One.
Arcane
Oh
Chief
yes,
Thune.
yeah, just its power notes.
Yeah.
Yes.
An
Yeah.
Archangel of Thune, yeah.
Every time I gain life, she gains +1/+1 counter. And given how often my deck's a life farming angel deck, I gain life stupid quickly, pretty much every time I cast a spell.
Yeah.
So I can end up with a +400/+400 creature quite quickly
Yeah.
for very little effort.
That's actually quite powerful. Oh well, that's what kill outright spells are for.
Yay! Boom.
Back to the Scrolls,
Yep.
are you ever going to change your avatar to a male one?
Nope.
No, we are, of course, bucking our own assumptions that guys have male avatars and girls have female avatars by, well, two of us at least at this table having the wrong gendered avatar for the gender we are.
In all fairness, I don't put a particular stock in the avatars, personally. The game itself, I mean, you can buy new avatars for shards and for gold, and I think that's just something that Mojang put in just to have someone a bit more personal to it.
Free.
You can change it for free, yeah, you can go through the pre-set things, but there are more that you can buy in to get more parts for your personalisation and stuff. The new Decay avatar is one of them. I personally don't put a lot of stock in it. I think it's a waste of gold, a waste of shards.
Well, if you've got loads...
Yeah, if you've got
might as
loads,
well.
yeah. If you've got a ton of gold and you don't want to get any more cards, yeah, go for it, brilliant. But I personally will never be in that position.
You can give yourself an aim of, I need this much gold so I can buy this avatar.
Yeah.
Which is basically what I do in other games, like Spiral Knights, for example. I want this piece of costume. It won't help me fight at all, but I want this piece of costume because it fits with what I'm doing.
That's fair enough.
I think the avatars touch on something quite close to my heart, though. The male and female armour is all very much similar. It's practically designed, very cool looking. But
both the male and female avatars have the option of having like a practically bare front.
But that's the thing, you can have both of them have the same levels of dress and undress. There's no dichotomy there.
And it doesn't matter what gender your opponent is anyway.
There's no chainmail bikinis, which I like. The art style for this game in general is incredibly tasteful.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
some
it is.
bandaged boobs.
Well, yes, but
There's also
that
the bare
was
chest of male.
actually a legitimate form of armour. Well, not armour, but dress in
Yeah.
various cultures from history. And drawing on historical ideals for, avatars and things, that's great. I like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
What I don't like is chainmail bikini syndrome.
Yeah.
Where literally the girls get chainmail bikinis, the guys get full plate mail.
Yeah.
That's bullshit and we need to cut it out.
It's kind of annoying, yeah.
Although with all that said about, the art style and everything else and, moving away from chainmail bikinis because they really do annoy me and they would chafe to all hell, but, we'll go away from that. Something that has actually struck me about Decay since it came out is that it seems to be kind of the dark sheep of the Scrolls decks so far. As in, the art style is a lot darker, it's still the same style, it's just a very dark look.
There's skeletons in the Ilma Rot-Eater's stomach. You can
Yeah.
actually see them moving around, which is really cool.
That's the it's brought in a lot of death and destruction because everything beforehand was quite wholesome. It was, like big shiny machines and happy elves and wolves with stunning white coats and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And knights in shining armor and all that kind of stuff. And Decay has gone very much kind of far to the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
It's all the necromancy, the darkness, that kind of thing.
I think they wanted to convey something quite different with the way Decay looks. They wanted to grunge it down a little bit, make it really slimy, sickly, and awful. I mean, look at the effects they give. Poison is their main thing.
That's the thing. Don't get me wrong, I like it a lot. It's just kind of like, it's a very sudden right-left turn from where Scrolls was beforehand. It's very cool, but it feels very different.
Oh hell yeah! It's a nice turning point, I think, and I hope that the Decay resource isn't the last one they bring in. I'm not entirely sure what else they could bring in. I suppose they could have regeneration as a resource.
I guess. You could always go for the kind of heaven and hell type things.
Yeah. They could go for elemental type things. You've got an elemental resource.
Well, hang on, what have you got so far? Energy, growth, order, and decay.
Yeah.
You
They're
could
all-
have chaos?
They're all like
Actually-
forces of nature rather than.
Yeah, that's true. So you got energy, which is kind of like, I think energy is meant to be chaos kind of stuff
okay.
with all the removal and things. Order, obviously, the opposite of energy and chaos. Then growth and decay.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. So I don't actually know where they could go next with that. Though it will be interesting to see them try something new.
Elemental stuff would make sense, having, earth, wind, air, and fire.
Yes.
But to keep it with its current theme, what would be the inverse of elementals.
The spiritual side of things,
quintessence.
Because say the celestial, the infernal, that kind of thing. I'm thinking perhaps a little too much along the lines of, say, Pathfinder here, but...
Maybe. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if they can come up with another resource, I'll be very glad, because I think you can only go so far with bringing out new cards quite often, because to keep scrolls really fresh, they will need to keep up with releasing new cards. Not constantly, but every couple of months having a turnover of a couple of cards for each of the different resources, because otherwise people are going to lose interest. They'll find that people have been using shards and stuff to buy the Just For You things, the Just For You scrolls, the ones I call tri-daily deals, and they'll end up getting to the point where they've collected all the scrolls, they've got everything, they have the decks built exactly how they want, and now there's no real reason for them to play the game anymore. So obviously, Mojang haven't lost out too much. They've gotten the money for scrolls to begin with, but they lose out the money on shards then.
Yeah.
Because no one's buying them.
That's something that has actually worried me a little, looking at the way Scrolls is how are they going to keep it fresh, keep it moving? And there are companies like Active Blizzard is a terrible, terrible example of this. WoW has stagnated horribly over the years. Even with new content coming out, it's like watching a train that's hit a brick wall and is still trying to go forwards with another train behind it,
Yeah.
It's painful to see. And this is a company that's been around for many, many years that has a lot of experience doing this.
Yeah.
Mojang are new to this. They've not done anything like Scrolls before.
No.
In Minecraft, they've kept it fresh, they've kept it going, but that game, you can do so much with it that,
The modding community for that is huge.
it keeps itself fresh in many ways.
But Scrolls, it's kind of worrying actually to think that it might get to the point where people will just stop playing it, and you'll go for a quick match or for a ranked match and find that there's no one there.
Yeah.
You might have your friends that play, but then they might not want to play it anymore because there's no more scrolls, no more content, no more update. It's worrying to think of, but I have a lot of faith in the fact that Mojang probably won't let that happen.
They've probably got a back catalogue of different things that they already want to bring out. But
Oh, hell yeah.
I was going to say, we have faith in Mojang. They've not led us astray yet in what they've done.
First wave, Scrolls has been out in beta for a couple of months now. I think it's been 2 months. In that time, they've released an entire new faction. They've released at least 3 new scrolls for each of the other factions, and there are a lot of bug fixes and changes as on top of that.
Well, they're basically doing what they did with Minecraft and building it up.
Yeah,
Steadily, but, decently over time.
exactly.
Each new release brings something good and new to it. It's going to be one hell of a thing to see done. But, that was my only real concern with the game. When Mojang announced that they were doing a multiplayer online CCG, I was worried about how they'd handle power creep and how they'd handle keeping it a fresh experience. But at the same time, these are the guys that could have bought THQ out 122 times over, based on the profits of Minecraft alone. I don't think they need to worry too much about innovation at this point, because they are good at that.
They can do it out of hell of life at this point.
Your opponent has a lot of stuff out.
Yeah, I'm moderately boned at this point.
I think you're taking it in the arse quite heavily at this point.
There's quite a lot of... I haven't had the best game this time round. I think, in all fairness, I had some bad draws, and again, I think this guy's been playing Decay quite a bit longer than I have, quite a bit more than I have as well.
Yeah.
So, but he's a good player and he deserves to... He's got his strategy down.
Yeah.
He's got his strategy down. Those junkyards are brilliant as balls, and I haven't been able to knock them down yet. And now he's got the Ilmire Rot Eaters and Ilmire Witch Doctors as well. I think the Witch Doctors.
Not many rats though.
No, not many rats, so he hasn't done a rat growth decay deck, which is interesting. He's kind of got a lot of everything in there. It seems like he's just testing the water, seeing what he likes, seeing what he doesn't like. Which means I probably haven't been that helpful. Yeah, that's, was that... Did I just see what that was, that attack?
It was the thing at the back.
Yeah, it might have been the... that'll have been the Witch Doctor, attacks for 5, yeah.
Speaking of witches, the new DLC for Dishonored has come out.
Sweet.
The Brigmore Witches. which follows on directly from the Knife of Dunwall, and I'm very much looking forward to playing at some point soon.
Cool.
Can't record it because we don't have the tech to do that, but I will bring a first impressions, or rather my impressions, in a later episode of something.
Sweet. Cool.
Because, yeah, it looks very exciting. We're back playing as Dowd, which I've really enjoyed in Knife of Dunwall. And, yeah.
Cool. I think this game is probably going to be coming to a close at some point soon. I don't see myself lasting much longer.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one curse monger and a poison spore thingy.
Thingy!
Yes, indeed, I have a thingy.
I can see Spirit Wolf, like, trying not to laugh.
Laugh if you want to.
Cool. I do, however, have 3 Mire Shamblers. So I should be able to hopefully put up some form of half-spirited, half-assed defence.
Half-assed defence, because the rest of your ass got cleaved over to the other side of the map a while ago.
I'm putting my all into it, however, my all is only half my ass. Oh well, in all fairness, it's been an interesting experiment. I managed to pull another few Mire Shamblers out of the random scrolls, which is why I have 3. The precon only comes with a couple, I think it's 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But,
speaking of having your ass handed to you, there is a new stipulation in my last will and testament that if I die by unnatural means of any description, my butt cheeks are to be hollowed out and must be worn by Cassius on his head for a week post to my death and their preparation.
What do you mean unnatural?
As in, if
like a knife.
If someone stabs me, blows me up, whatever.
Or runs you over?
If someone blows you up, is there going to be much left of
if
your
I
ass
die
cheeks?
of anything other than natural causes, and
Is
that way,
does stupidity count as a natural cause?
no.
What if you're not too stupid?
Like falling off of a cliff.
That would be
I
unnaturally
don't go
stupid.
near cliffs, so yeah.
Would you class it as a natural cause if a hurricane picked up a pipe and threw it at you and killed you with it?
Natural event, so yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Even though it's an unnatural material that kills you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If nature did it, it's natural.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair,
yeah,
everything is natural.
The practical upshot of all of this is purely so that he gains the nickname Asshat for a week.
Well, depending on how
If
you
any of you actually encounter a similar situation and have any idea of how to respond or react, etc., please let me know.
I don't think it's actually.
Put it in the comments
Put it in
below.
the comments, yes.
Unfortunately,
No, I double
Beth,
checked.
I don't think it's legal.
No, it is. I double checked this earlier.
Are we actually encouraging what is probably going to lead to troll behaviour?
Arse hattery. And Spirit Wolf is hiding.
I would join her, but my hood doesn't stretch that far.
I'm worried.
Oh dear.
Why the hell are you not hiding? You don't have to wear butt cheeks on your head.
I thought there'd be a nice hat that just flops down over your ears. You know?
Oh god.
They'd be lacquered as well, so they'd be solid. You could probably run into a wall.
I know
while
we need
wearing
a
them.
haircut, but seriously.
No offense, Steph, but I don't know if that would be too big for him.
It would be a large hat.
Okay, so the biggest problem that you guys have with this is size.
That my ass might be too big for your head.
Yeah, I think one butt cheek might be enough.
Oh.
I just got
dear.
nobbled by a rot eater. Yeah, that was a really good game.
4 idols dead at the end there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Again,
That was a brilliant game that I played.
that is
and
actually a common feature of the end of your games, isn't it?
I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah,
Why?
shut up.
I'm gonna have an arse on my head. I
Shut
don't
up,
need
ass
to.
hat.
Well, guys, that's all we have time for right now. I have a new friend. Thank you very much for playing, and thank you very much for watching too. I'll catch you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.